Yo guys, Peppino here. Today I'm making a guide for the Golden Charlatan build. This one has the potential of having one of the best cleaning speed of the game, thanks to its screen-wide explosion and also shrine buff stacking. In today's video I will go over explaining the mechanics, then showing all the gear and how do they work, and at the end of the video I will also explain how to craft the most important pieces. Starting with the mechanic explanation, we are of course playing with the Golden Charlatan, which is one of the mandatory items. These give us a random shrine buff when we kill a rare or unique enemy, and this is quite powerful since it can give us any shrine in the game, even the divine one that makes us invincible, and we will pair it up with the ghoul and the blunderboard that will grant us some increased shrine effect on us. On average, with those two we will have 140% increased shrine effect, except if you're of course going with a volatile Val Orbed the ghoul with more increased effect. And this is the first mechanic. Now going over the second mechanic, which is we are stacking heralds. Since this build doesn't have that much base damage, we need a way to scale it up. So we are playing with Herald of the Hive, and we are playing with 6 heralds in total. As you can see, my DPS right now is 590k. If I activate the Herald of the Hive, this will double it and a bit more, because Herald of the Hive grants us more damage per Herald skill affecting us. Now we also have another small mechanic, which is golem stacking. We are using 4 golems. We are using Primordial Bond on our large cluster jewels that give us increased damage per summon golem and buff effect granted by our golems, and we use 3 of them, so that's pretty good. And also using some of the buff effect we have on the tree, plus the elementalist ascendancy. Now that I explained all the mechanics that this build uses, I will go through the gear itself. I already explained the weapon, helmet, and also the blunderboard and the lost unity. Now I will go over the amulet. We are using a pretty good amulet with increased cast speed, level all skill gems, and level all physical skill gems. This is pretty nice since a ethereal knife scales insanely good with levels. That is also why I'm using a +1 socketed gems implicit on the blunderboard and empower. I will explain to you later how to craft this amulet. It is pretty much a gamble, but you'll see later for sure you will be able to craft it for less than market price. Then this ring, we're using a ring with cast speed, crit multi, a lot of elemental resistances since we lack a bit. This is not that hard to craft, to be honest. You just need to buy a cogwork ring with fractured crit multi and spam Essence of Zeal till you get both elemental res, so it's pretty easy to craft. I won't do a guide about it, so you can go ahead and try it yourself if you want. Then to convert our damage to elemental, we are using this pair of gloves with a lot of elemental damage converted to lightning and cold. As you can see, we have 30 on the implicit and other on the explicits. I will make a guide later how to craft this, so don't worry at all. It is pretty easy to craft. And I'm using a pair of boots that, as you can see, it's pretty nice, but this is not mandatory at all. That's why I'm not doing a guide about it. You can play with a normal pair of boots, even with just Onslaught on Kill and maybe Tailwind. But yeah, I'm playing with Elusive 2 because I feel like that's a pretty good addition. Now, talking about flasks, I feel like the only one that is mandatory here could be the Oria Sand for the explosions, and maybe Cinder's Valor or Urn, since it gives us a lot of damage with Onslaught and Malediction. The others are, I mean, for sure they are important, because playing with Aprogenesis makes the difference, you know, like give us a lot of tankiness. And yeah, like for example, one of the Prophet is one that you could easily remove. It is something, of course, because it gives us some rarity and random diminution buff. That is always useful, but no way mandatory. Maybe at City Promise I would keep it for Chaos Stress and of course more damage, and it's, I mean, it is pretty cheap, so you can buy it with no problems. Now that I have explained more or less the Here, now I will explain a bit the tree. So as I said earlier, we're playing with 3 large cluster jewels with the primordial bond. And if you're asking yourself, how did you get primordial bond in this base? Well, now this league we have a refracting fog that can give us a non-natural mod to a cluster jewel. Like for example, primordial bond isn't found in the increased elemental damage base. It's like minion stuff. That's how you can get it, and I think it's pretty expensive. So not really actually. 14 divines is pretty good, but there are also other alternatives that you can use that are way cheaper, like we are talking about 5 divines each. And also for medium cluster jewels we are playing with herald stuff, so like empowered envoy and endbringer, that give us increased damage for each herald affecting us. Another thing to talk about are the rune graft. The most important one for sure is the rune graft of the warp, but it's very expensive. It's like 9 divines, maybe 10. Why is it good? Because it extends our buffs, so I'm talking about shrines and hunter buffs, so that's why it's very good. And also the debuffs on us expire faster. We're playing with the rune graft of the bound, that helps us converting our damage to elemental fully, because like without this we wouldn't, since this gives us like 87% physical damage converted to elemental, and this helps us a lot since it gives us increased bonus gained from equipped gloves. And then we're playing with another rune graft of the spellbound that gives us a bit of the physical damage of the main weapon to our spell. This helps us a bit with the base damage. Another thing I want to go over is Elegant Hubris. It's very important. It is also another piece that is really a variable, because you can get many, and I'll help you later on how to find your timeless jewel, because of course you might not find this exact number. So yeah, but the most important mods are chance to avoid being shocked. Thanks to this one we can get fully or almost fully elemental ailment immune, thanks to the let's see if I can find it, Storm Shroud. And also like stuff that increases our damage, like crit multi, spell damage, etc, etc. Of course I will write a guide on path of building, so in case you are not finding some information, it's in the description. Now I'd like to go over the crafting of some of this gear. I feel like I will only do the gloves, which I mean I feel like the gloves are the most important ones, and the amulet. Okay, let's do the gloves first. We can start in 2 ways. The first one is to gamble the fracturing orb, and the second one is to buy the base already fractured. You can do both. I mean, if you feel like gambling, you can do the first one, or if you don't, you can do the second one. If you feel like gambling, you should buy some gloves with the Alva mod that says increased damage against shield enemies. Any base will do. At least it should have energy shield. When you get the base, I suggest you to buy at least, I don't know, 4 or 5 base, since getting that mod fracture is like 1 in 4, so we have like a 25% to get it. And when you get that base, you should reroll its values, because I mean usually cheap bases like that are like with shitty rolls too. To reroll it, it's pretty simple. You just go to the Orti crafting bench like I'm doing in the video, and you do like convert to cold resistance to fire, and then you go back and do fire to cold. Like that, it's way cheaper than just spamming divines, of course, till you get whatever. I settled at 47. You can settle at, I don't know, 45 or even 49, you decide. Then when you get all your gloves with 4 mods and a good rolled Alva's mod, you can fracture. As you can see in the video, I failed all the fractures, so if you don't feel like gambling, well, don't do it, bro, because if the game's against you, you cannot do much about it. So when you get your gloves with the Alva's mod fractured, then you first need to craft the suffixes. It's very easy. You can do it with the Eldritch Chaos Orb. First thing, you must have a Eater of Words implemented as dominant, as you see in the video. and then you can spam the Eldritch Chaos Orb till you get either two good elemental resistances mods, or like, I don't know, a elemental res and then chaos res. If you are doing it in a dex base, if you get, I don't know, suppressed damage and a elemental rest is good too. I mean, you can sell it, for example. I mean, at this point you can sell it for profit, or like I don't know, even rarity and elemental rest is good. You can decide on what to settle. Now, after doing the suffixes, we can go ahead and do the prefixes. To do the prefixes is quite simple. You just need to craft a suffixes cannot be changed. I do it through the Beastcraft since it's way cheaper. And after you do that, you need to slam a Veiled Chaos Orb, hoping that you don't fill your prefixes. If you fill them, you need to annul with a Eldritch Annul Orb. And if you miss, you'll need to do it again. So suffixes cannot be changed, and then again slam the Veiled Chaos Orb. If you slam the Veiled Chaos Orb and you get just one more prefix, that's okay. Then you'll need to block a mod. The best mod to block is additional physical damage reduction while focused. I forgot to do it in the video, but you should do it. After that, you unveil and hope that you get either physical damage converted to cold or to lightning. If you do well, you are almost done. You then just need to craft a physical damage converted to cold or to lightning, depending on what you found on the unveil. And then you need to make your implicits with the Eldritch currency. We will need a physical damage converted to cold or to lightning, so my suggestion is to spam Grand Eldritch Ecure till you find the two preferred mods. So if you found one of them, as you can see in the video, then you will need slam a Orb of Conflict. It's pretty expensive, but that's the only way, except if you wanna spam the other Ecores, which are way more expensive. So you slam it, it's a 50-50. If you get the 50-50, you'll have 25% physical damage conversion, which that's it, you've done it. Then you'll need to do the other implicit that I prefer having a nerve on it with the red embers, and that's it. You've done the gloves. Okay, now let's do the amulet. First thing I wanna say is that the amulet is way more risky to do it because it's a gamble. We will need to recombine two amulets, so yeah, we also need to craft two amulets, and if we fail the recombination, you'll waste pretty much 35-36 divines. So yeah, for sure, if you do it first or second try, you'll craft an amulet that you spent way less than market price. Otherwise, you could, if you are lucky, waste some currency. Okay, let's start. The first thing you'll need to buy is a focused amulet, non-corrupted, non-mirrored. And then you'll need to chaos spam it till you find your preferred mod. I prefer cast speed, so I am looking for that. When you get T1 cast speed or whatever other mod, you could also get critical strike multiplier. When you get cast speed, you'll need to annul a prefix. If you do so, you need to craft suffixes cannot be changed. I do it through Beastcrafts as always, and then Scour. You will be left with cast speed, and that's it. Okay, after that, you will need to craft a physical damage to attacks on the crafting bench. Then you'll need to go on your crafting bench and click on the add remove physical mod. This will give us a 50-50. If we remove the crafted mod, it will give us, of course, a +2 level of all physical gems. If we get the cast speed, then of course, yeah, we still have the +2, but with no cast speed. So we must get the crafted mod. This is a 50-50, it could take 1 to 3 tries. When you do so, when you get the crafted mod, then you will need to craft the donor amulet. So you will need to buy a +1 to all skill gem amulet, whatever amulet it is, but it must have only one prefix and 2 suffixes maximum. So you can either buy that already made and it will cost like 7 or 8 divines, or you could try to gamble it. So for example, you buy an amulet with +1 and another prefix and maybe 3 suffixes. You then need to annul the 1 useless prefix and 1 suffix. I know it's pretty much a gamble, but that's the only way you can do it. After you remain with just one prefix, that is the +1 to all skill gems, and 2 suffixes, you'll need to craft a cannot roll attack modifiers in the amulet from the crafting bench. Then go over the Orti crafting bench and do add remove physical modifiers. In this step you will have a 75% of succeeding, and if you remove the +1 to all gems, well, you'll need to do the earlier step again. If you succeed, well, you will now have an amulet with +1 to all skill gems and +1 to all physical gems with two suffixes, either one that is the cannot roll attacks or like 2 random suffixes. If you have the cannot roll attacks still, you will need to remove that, add a prefix craft, a random one, and slam an exalted orb, because you must have 2 suffixes that is not crafted. Then craft a suffix modifier and slam a random influenced exalted orb, the cheapest one that you find. I found that the elder one is the cheapest, so I used that and I slammed that. Now you will have an influenced prefix modifier, and the next step is quite easy. You will need to craft a prefixes cannot be changed from the crafting bench and do a reforge influence in the Orti crafting bench. Your amulet must look like this. You have a +1 to all gems, +1 to all physical gems, and a random influenced prefix modifier, then a random influenced suffix. That's it, 4 mods. If you have, for example, 5 mods, well, in that case, you should do another reforge influence, because you must have like 4 mods in your amulet, as you can see in the video. And then, well, you'll need to recombine, and in this step you will have the 50-50. If you get the focused amulet as a base in the recombination, well, you're done. You will have the +2/+2 and cast speed. If you get the, for example, the other base, well, you're not that much fucked, because as I witnessed, like, you will get an amulet that is very similar to the donor, so you won't need to craft another donor, just the focused amulet. But yeah, I'll leave you to the reactions. Focused amulet, please. I lost so many 50-50s. Try number 2. I don't want to even talk about it. Yes, oh my god. Now, before I show you the mapping experience, please, this is very important, do not skip this part. I talked about Timeless Jewel, and I use a Elegant Hubris commemorate Caspiro. What does this mean is that it will give us a keystone called Supreme Ostentation, which give us like the ability to ignore attribute requirements. In fact, if you see in the game, all the attributes are red. This means that we are like ignoring them completely, and if I by mistake remove this Elegant Hubris, you'll see that all my shit becomes red because I cannot wear it, right? So this is a must for this build, it's mandatory item. Now I'll show you how to get the best passives. As you can see, I have one of the best ones, and it gives a crit multi, spell damage, and like chance to avoid being shocked. That is also a mandatory piece of the build, because without this one you won't be able to be element immune, or actually elemental element immune. First thing, you should have a path of building, which is this software, and you should import your own build. And after you do that, you should have a similar tree than mine. And if you are making it on your own path of building without importing, remember that you must have the impossible escape with passive skill and radius of pain attunement, which is this one without the Elegant Hubris. Now, to get the good passives, you just need to click on this Find Timeless Jewel, then choose your jewel type. In this case, it's going to be Elegant Hubris, Conqueror, Caspiro, Supreme Ostentation, remember that name. We choose the jewel socket, which is going to be Pain Attunement, this one. Like as you can see, it also shows you the placement. and we filter the nodes. What does this mean? Well, when we filter the nodes, this like function will only choose the nodes where are like allocated. In this case, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay. Now we will like sort by combined DPS, and we will search for the node avoid being shocked, because as I said, it's mandatory if you want to be elemental element immune. Now we click on generate and search. Now as you can see, actually I was about to forget something. You should set on the configuration that you have a diamond shrine, because this will cap your crit, and I think it's very important because you always get a diamond shrine in map, and I don't think getting like stuff like a crit chance in the gear or like in the tree is a good thing. To be honest, that's my opinion, so I just suggest you to do so. So we go again on the tree and we click on generate search. Now this list goes from the first one is going to be the timeless jewel that gives you the most damage, and on the bottom we'll have the timeless jewel that give you the least. I'd start with the first one for just an example, and as you can see it gives us actually a bit more damage, nothing crazy. And now we see that we have crit multi, effect of shock, evasion rating. In this case is completely useless, but yeah, whatever. Spell damage, increase effect of shock. Now in this case, as you saw, we don't have the node that says avoid being shocked. This is because there is a 0 here. This means that we don't have it. When there is a 1, it means that we have that node, and I shouldn't really suggest you to look up the first results, because those are the ones that are the most expensive, usually at like hundreds of divines. I should go like a bit on the bottom just to be sure. Like for example this one, let's take this one and put it here. Yeah, the damage is way less, but I mean at least it's not going to be hundreds of divines. But you can search however you want. As you can see now, it gives us block spell damage, which is actually a bit useless. With armor, chance to avoid being shocked, maximum life, increase crit multi, increase damage per power charge. Now to search like how much it costs, we have two ways. Either we click on copy trade URL, but it will only like select the first ones and then go down, go down, go down, and so on. So if you went really down on the list, I suggest you to look up the trade site like I'm doing right now. So the number we need to remember is 136,060. So we just go here, select the commission coins to commemorate Caspiro, and we do 136,000. Should be like that, sorry. Should be like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, now we search, and there is one for 5 divines, one for 15, one for 20. Like, of course, you can search, as I said, however you want. If you need, if you wanna search one, or maybe a bit more on top to see if like it's cheap, because for sure the one on top, as I said, they will give you more damage. What the hell? Okay, that's because I did this. And yeah, this is all. Now let's go into the mapping experience. Please like and subscribe. This video took a lot of effort to make. Now goodbye. Now that you've seen how this build works and how to craft some of the gear, I'll show you a full map experience. I'll even swap my focus amulet for a replica Dragonfang flight, just to show you that you don't really need this. It's like not really mandatory. And I'll play this 8th model map on dunes with breach like Scarab of Wisps and Monstrous Lineage. Let's go. I'm very sorry in advance for what you're about to witness, because everything will probably go pixelated, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I know that you need more mana. Imagine if I find that mage blood. Oops, I'm fucking clicked the breach, okay. Damn, son. Divine, okay, I mean, right. Maybe I should take some altars, right, guys? If, I mean, yeah, so, it's a bit laggy. Okay, did I open another breach by mistake? Wait. Yes, I did. I mean, okay, at this point I'll open every breach without even killing the boss. Yeah, my bad, but I wanna just show you the build. I don't care for the profit or whatever. I'm sure that this build is capable of making whole screen explode like that. Yes, like that too. Do the boss before I open another bridge. Up. Okay. Bro, I love this build. I don't care. What the hell? Did I already open it by mistake again? Yes, I did. Oh my lord. Like, even if I don't use ethereal knives, just with the frostbling I make every pack explode. Let's try. I don't use ethereal knives now. Yes, sir. Damn. I mean, that's the power of shrines plus a Dante, am I right? They can make any build insane, pretty much. Alright, that's it. I might even do the Mirage at this point. Okay. Yeah, the start is always pretty hard because like you have a low at cast speed. Oh, another fling, what is it? Baldo, okay. Ah, wow. Okay. Okay, that's it. I even forgot that I even forgot the golems. Like, I didn't have any golem at all, and they give me a bunch of buffs, such as, I mean, a lot of cast and attack speed, mana regen, chaos res, I mean, damage and whatnot. And I forget them. Yeah, the one went pretty well, even without my focused amulet. For sure, as I said, this build is pretty much carried by the Golden Charlatan and Headhunter. Like, let's be honest. But even with them, it's absolutely busted. Like, I mean, you just need to kill a couple of rares at the start of the map and then you're invincible. Like, you cannot be killed by anything, really. Like, if you have, like, I don't know, 20 stacks of Headhunter and a couple shrines, you are good to go. You will never die. Campbell, Victoria Influence, the shit. Okay. Guys, if you have any question, just cast them in the comment section. I will put a small guide in the description with the related PoB, and also I'll try to make a like a cheaper variant. Like I mean, there is nothing cheap in this build, right? I'll try to do my utter best to make a variant that is less expensive than this one. Now, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.